Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to the channel. It's Cynicalex, and we have the patch notes for the upcoming Mutant update, the Destiny of X Jean Grey Tier 4 update. So let's get right into it. The update's going to be happening tonight. It ends at around 11 p.m. Pacific time, 2 a.m. Eastern. So I will be live here on YouTube for the update shortly after it is live, and we will go through all the new uniforms. We'll go through the new character Polaris, and we will go through the new World Boss Legend content. So let's check out what we are getting here. So we're getting Polaris as a brand new hero. She is just like Toxin and other characters that we've gotten in the past, where they are going to be bio subscription characters or X Gene subscription characters. They're premium characters, but they will be free in the basic Future Pass for 1 month. So you have to pick them up ASAP, even if you just keep them at 1 star, because after that they will move into premium purchases only. Now for Polaris, they said in the video, in the update video that I'll react to later, that she's going to be a leadership and support for mutants. And yeah, it seems like they really hit the mark on that. They gave her Magneto's leadership, and then her polarity effect tier 2 passive is essentially a passive like like Shuri's old passive, Wave's old passive. It applies to all mutant allies, so that's hero and villain mutant allies. It doesn't matter, and it increases their damage to villains and decreases their damage from villains, which is very nice. Overall, her kit looks pretty nice. She has accumulation, she has immunity, she has a 20% heal with invincibility and an 80% damage proc. The only thing I'm a little bit concerned with is her passive. So part of her passive is nice, skill damage, bonus damage, and basic damage reduction. But then this thing here, when she's hit, 10% chance to absorb energy damage, and then it increases her attack by 5% upon absorption, stacks up to 30%. That's not impressive, because 30% is very low. All attack 30% is very low. Some characters just have that as a passive. Just increase my attack by 30%. So yeah, I think they should like add a 0 here. It should be like 300, because you're not going to run around wanting to get hit, right? That's just not how Marvel Future Fight works these days. So I think they kind of missed the mark with trying to work energy absorption into her passive. Usually when they do energy absorption, it's in more fun ways, like they did for Rogue and Captain Marvel, where it increases buff effects and duration. I prefer that. Anyways, we're also getting 4 new uniforms for Jean Grey, Cyclops, Beast, and Angel. Jean Grey is turning into a universal super villain, and this is also going to be presumably her typing for the World Boss Legend stage that she is going to be the boss of. Now, as far as her effects go, they're insane. Fire damage, guard break immunity, decreases additional pierce damage taken by 60%. They're reworking her tier 3 skill. They're giving her 100% revive. They're giving her 60% all resistance, 40% damage reduction. They're giving her second skill, which has an 8-second cooldown, which is super low. Time freeze, burn, incapacitation, paralysis, and immunity, and ignore iframe. Yeah, and it's actually crazier than that, as you'll see when you get to her tier 4 skill. But yeah, Jean Grey looks bonkers. Yeah, welcome to Jean Grey Fight, guys. She has 10 seconds of 80% penetration on her 5th skill, Dark Descent. Yeah, she's back, baby. She's back in the meta. If you weren't sure about that. For Cyclops, they're reworking and buffing his leadership and passive. Not reworking, they're buffing it. He gets crit damage and chain hit, which is nice. He gets some changes and buffs to his ultimate ability. Hopefully the damage is increased, because the damage was quite low. Now his leadership is 45% attack and 30% defense. Very, very good. One of the best leaderships in the game now. And then not one of the best like stat leaderships. Like obviously She-Hulk's leadership is better, but whatever. And then his ambient radiation passive is 40% increase of energy attack to all allies. Now, while this is good, because he's a blast type for blast stages, I still think that Riri Williams is a better leadership, because she's like 50% or 40 or 50 or 55% attack, and then also the 40, the 30, the 35 or the 40% increased boss damage to boss types. So yeah, don't get me wrong, the 40% energy attack is nice, but there are diminishing returns on attack, so it's not quite as nice. It's not nearly as nice as like increased damage to supervillains or increased damage to boss types. He himself is also getting ignore dodge, super armor, and skill damage, bonus damage. He gets a bunch of effects on his skills now, like shock and fracture, stun and snare, and paralysis, which are relevant for ABX and ABL. And then he also gets accumulation and a heal and invincibility. So a lot of nice effects for Cyclops, some new, some returning. decent cooldowns. Hopefully he can be more than just a leadership / support. Beast, I think, is probably the character that they screwed up the most on. If I had to choose one, his uniform effect is nice. It's kind of like Chavez, where he gives 40% HP to all allies and then 25% ignore dodge. So kind of PvP, PvE things. But here, you know, his leadership, they didn't really make it that much better. It's 50% physical attack and 10% crit damage. And then on his passives, they both only apply to self. So they removed all of his support passives where he gave, you know, guaranteed crit rate and stuff like that. They removed all that, which would be very helpful for certain characters with a CTP of Rage in World Boss Legend content and GBR content. So I think this uniform might make him worse in some situations. I don't know. I feel like this uniform is a big skip unless you're really into PvP. And it seems like they're trying to make him for PvP because he has reflect reduction on himself. He has super armor. He decreases chain hit. He decreases basic damage. And he also ignores some of the enemies' damage decreases besides bosses. So that's a PvP thing. But then they didn't give him iframe ignore or counter attack or anything. Weird. Hopefully he has unlisted iframe ignore on one of his skills. He does have good things like 8 seconds of invincibility and 6 seconds of accumulation. Like, he's got some nice stuff and a 40% heal. But yeah, he like PvP characters nowadays have to have an iframe ignore skill. It's mandatory. And then for Angel, he's getting 30% dodge and 50% increased recovery to all allies. So he's getting a massive bump on his support ability. The dodge is especially good for characters that don't have uniforms, i.e. native tier 3s, because it's very hard to cap all of their stats when it comes to crit rate, crit damage, dodge, you know, skill cooldown, etc., because they don't have those extra stats. So that's actually quite nice, and he could pair well in Alliance Conquest with someone like Gore. Again, very, very specific situation here, but yeah. They gave him super armor, all defense. They gave him crit rate, guaranteed dodge. Again, like Beast, it seems like they're positioning him for PvP. He's got accumulation. He's got a heal with invincibility. He's actually got 2 heals, one for 25 and one for 35. But again, they didn't give him iframe ignore or counterattack. These characters cannot function in PvP. They can function in Conquest. That's it. So yeah, these might be Conquest only characters, which is disappointing in my opinion, but it is what it is. And then Polaris is getting a new tier 3. Very cool. She's got the girders, the steel girders, the steel beams, and then she makes a gigantic metal ball in the middle, and then it blows up. So it's very similar. Not very similar. It's somewhat similar to Magneto's tier 3, which is of course really cool because she's his daughter. But it's also different. It's very green. So I like the animation quite a bit. And then yeah, the effects look good. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. Tier 3 skills are very very quirky that way. You don't really know until you see the skill. Jean Grey's tier 4. They're giving her reflect. There's really no way to preface this without just shocking your pants off. She has everything. Time freeze, incapacitation, revive, massive penetration, super guard break, and now also, of course, iframe ignore. And now also she has reflect. She reflects 100% of damage received up to 45% of her max attack. This is when she pops her tier 4 skill. And then she also accumulates pure damage, and it buffs her attack by 1.8%. So there's also PvE value here. But basically, the way this works, I'll be honest with you. If you have not killed Jean Grey in PvP by the time her tier 4 skill is up, kiss your ass goodbye. It's basically that simple. If you don't have the power, if your characters don't have the power to kill her before she builds up her tier 4, she's going to pop the tier 4, she's going to start reflecting, and then you're doubly dead. You're triply dead. So yeah, very scary tier 4. Yeah, the Jean Grey meta is here. What can we say? Beast, Angel, and Bishop, surprisingly, are getting a Transcendent, so I do like to see old mutants added to this, even if they're not getting uniforms. I would like a Bishop uniform, but, you know, it is what it is. Just your standard amalgamation of attacks and just a, poop storm of effects happening. It looks kind of cool. It's a little short, in my opinion. The skill animation could be longer, but yeah, it's got blue, yellow, and red, so it's got all the Power Ranger colors. It's pretty cool. Anyways, we're getting a new World Boss Legend as well, Dark Phoenix, and they're also improving World Boss Legend World Boss across the board with some improvements, some changes. So Dark Phoenix is going to be the 5th World Boss Legend, so presumably she's going to be the hardest World Boss Legend, harder than Gore, which says a lot because we only got Gore a few months ago. I was actually really surprised they dropped this because they already did 2 World Boss Legends this year, and adding a third one I thought was out of their wheelhouse, but hey, it's here. She's going to drop all of the other stuff that World Boss Legends drop in terms of Life Seed, Carbonadium, and not Soul of the Faltine. No, Life Seed and Carbonadium. And presumably she'll drop more than Gore. Like, she should drop the most compared to Null, and it should be noticeable, but we'll have to wait and see. She also has a chance to drop a Mighty CTP of Authority, which is pretty cool. The one difference here that people are kind of up in arms about is that she... Oh, she does drop tier 3 materials. What? Oh, she doesn't drop tier 2 materials. Oh, okay. I was confused. For some reason, I thought she didn't drop tier 3 materials. It's just Phoenix Feathers and Emcron Crystals instead of Essence of Dimension and Titan component packs. But yeah, she drops both. Some people are upset about this because they still need Black Antimatter and Chaos Nornstones. You shouldn't. Yeah, no. Listen, this is just as good as Black Antimatter and Chaos Nornstones because crafting, card crafting, you know. And the thing is, if your account still needs Black Antimatter and Chaos Nornstones, your cards probably suck. So just work on your cards, man. You don't have to play Jean Grey every day. I don't see why people are bitching and moaning about this. It's not a big deal at all. I actually really like it because I don't need Black Antimatter and Chaos Nornstones at all, and I know there are other players in this position, so it's nice for us to have an alternative, and it's nice for them to switch things up and have a little bit of variety for the World Boss Legends stuff. Now, for unlocking her, you have to beat Mephisto 5 times, Ultron, and Gore 5 times. Bye-bye, no. But yeah, that's pretty cool. It's only 3 missions, so hopefully it's not too expensive to unlock. Nah, it's probably going to be expensive to unlock. Anyways, as far as the changes, so they're adding Conqueror effects for all of the World Boss Legends, but also for Thanos World Boss Ultimate. So not all of the World Bosses, but a good chunk of them, 6 of them, basically. And the World Boss Conqueror effects, they're different from Conqueror level, and they're different from Raid level. There's a lot of levels and effects now. But anyways, what the Conqueror effect does, to my understanding, is that as you play, you'll get like an experience bar, and you'll get some rewards, and then you'll also get these Conqueror effects. Okay, and these effects will increase damage, but not necessarily to the same bosses. This is where it's interesting. There's sort of like some commingling between boss effects. So you can see here, for getting to Conqueror level 2, I guess, on Gore, you unlock these Conqueror effects, which increases your damage against Gore by 0.3%, but it also increases your damage against Dark Phoenix by 0.2%. So there's sort of like an incentive to fight different bosses to buff your damage against other bosses. So I really like this. Again, it encourages players to play against multiple World Boss Legends. I think they're probably doing this because they see a lot of players just still on stage 1 of Null and Mephisto and just completely ignoring Gore and Ultron. I don't think this is the best way to get players to play Ultron and Gore. I think you have to increase the rewards and also legalize nuclear bombs. But I do think you need to increase the rewards in order to get players to do Ultron and do Gore and do Dark Phoenix. Actually, you know what? I'll do Dark Phoenix for free. I'm so sorry. Yeah, I know I'm cringe. Anyways, so yeah, that's what they're doing. And yeah, the target and conditions of Conqueror effects of each world boss are different, so they're not all going to be the same. And then the Conqueror effects that apply to the same world boss accumulate, so they stack on top of each other to give you more and more buffs. So this will make it easier and easier. So people who have, like, I don't know if this is going to start at level 1 for everyone, or if this is going to upgrade to whatever level you're at based on your Conqueror. Like, because I'm not on level 1 Conqueror for Gore, but if it does, like, if it does catch up, then a lot of players who have been playing, who have been grinding World Boss Legend, are going to see a massive spike in their damage, and they're going to see a significant decrease in the difficulty because of all these stacked up accumulated buffs to their damage against these different bosses. So yeah, this makes World Boss Legend easier, more accessible for more players. Again, I still think they should buff the rewards, make the rewards make the rewards visibly scale. That was the whole reason why people started playing World Boss Legend in the first place, because you guys put guaranteed CCF, but that was 2 years ago. So you guys gotta get with the times. Anyways, one really good thing that they did is that they increased the Conqueror level of all world bosses from 100 to 200. So just to take a quick detour here, I am capped out on so many world boss Conqueror level. Like I'm 100% on the Conqueror level for Thanos. I'm 100% on the Conqueror for Null. I'm 100% on the Conqueror for Mephisto. I'm pretty close for Ultron. I'm at 84. And then for the other ultimates, I'm 100 here. I'm 100 here. I'm 100 here. I'm 100 here. And I'm 100 here. So yeah, I'm really happy to see this bump up to 200. Of course, not a lot of incentive to play the World Boss Ultimates because they don't drop Carbonadium, but it's still good to see. It's still nice, and there's going to be new rewards for Conqueror 101 to 200, which is awesome. And then we have a new event token archive reward. If you've gotten all of the tokens in 2022, if you didn't miss any of them, then you will get a special icon. It's like a Luna Snow holding up a 2022 icon, presumably that you can use in the game for free. So that is quite cool. And then we have the new artifacts for the 6 characters that are getting buffs, reworks, uniforms, etc. Polaris is getting an increased damage dealt to enemies with 50% HP or lower. That's not bad. Jean Grey's artifact is exactly the same as Gore's, so it increases her damage to heroes and villains. Very good for PvP. Cyclops has the same artifact as Namor and Iron Man, so that's kind of quirky. But it's just worse. It's only 20% and 0.1 instead of like 0.5 or whatever. Beast is getting the same artifact as Juggernaut and Gilgamesh, where he increases his HP and he recovers his HP. Again, very good for PvP, but if he doesn't have iframe ignore, it doesn't matter. Angel is getting the 20% chance to dodge all attacks, like Echo and Spider-Man and Black Widow. And then Bishop is getting the same one as Black Bolt, where he increases his attack and his ignore dodge. Then we have the new Future Pass here. Again, you will get 10 X-Genes. You'll get a 1-star Polaris if you complete the regular free Future Pass. So please, please, please log in and do it so you unlock your free 1-star Polaris that you can then take up to tier 2 with free tickets later on. It's a free leadership and support for mutants. It's she's very, very good. And then we have the new icons, Polaris's, Cyclops, Jean Grey, which you unlock from doing stage 10 of her World Boss Legend, like you do for the Gore icon with the sword. Then we have the 2020 Luna with a very cute expression on her face. And this one is for having all of the tokens this year. And then the Angel one from the, I believe, Mythic Future Pass. I don't know where the Angel one... Oh, the Angel one is going to be from the Token Shop. So the Token Shop icon kind of weak this year, or this update, but yeah. And then we have the new Uniform Collection. And then we have some improvements where you can purchase all gold cost or free items in the shop simultaneously if you just want to do one. So this is trying to reduce the number of clicks that you have to do in the game, where you can just do like 2 clicks instead of like 5 clicks or whatever. People on Reddit enjoy that because, I don't know, they have like hand dysmorphia. Yeah. And then some other changes here. The best bug fix by far is this one right here. The issue of targeting being changed to normal enemies when using a skill after targeting Surtur in Alliance Battle Legend. Targeting issues in Alliance Battle Legend should be fixed. So yeah, those are the patch notes. I went pretty fast through them. Hit me up in the comments down below if you have more questions, or join the Discord, discord.gg/thenewmeta. I will see you all tonight for the update here live on YouTube. In the meantime, keep it frosty, whatever that means. Thanks so much for watching. Smash the like button, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care.